Reanimate a Villas. Here's a Court of Calling X2. Oh, is this going to be Scavenging Ooze? Show me the Scavenging Ooze. It is! Nice! Scavenging Ooze, Exile a Villas. Today on Commander Replay, we check out this Astor Bearer of Blades $100 budget equipment deck. Next on Commander Replay. Hey guys, there's two great ways to support the channel. All links are in the description below. Welcome back everyone, playing some budget Astor Bearer of Blades equipment today. Here's a quick look at the budget, came in just over $100. Was too lazy to cut the last $1.50 or so off of that. Anyway, with that, let's go take a look at our opener. We've got 1 land, 2 land, not the best. The other cards in our hand are good, but if we don't draw cards, I'm going to mulligan this. So one of the keys to this deck is really trying to get to an equipment tutor or any of your value generating equipment. This hand also does not have any of those. We do get a scry. Maybe do we go to 6? It's still kind of land light. Doesn't really ramp. It's a lot of removal. Yeah, let's mulligan that one too. We're going to 6, I guess. This is probably the best of the bunch. We'll keep this. What do we put back? Karmic Guide is more late gamey. Yeah, I think we get rid of the Karmic Guide just because it's not super useful early. You really need stuff in your graveyard before it kind of gets turned on, so these other cards will be much more useful earlier than Karmic Guide. This is my first time out with the deck, so I might need to make a few tweaks after the game just to kind of get things straightened out. It doesn't have quite as much ramp as I usually like to run. The issue you run into is just card balance. You need enough equipment, you need enough removal, you need enough creatures, all that stuff. And when you're on a budget, it's harder to get the cards that fill multiple roles. Here's a Swiftfoot Boots, helpful. Play the Path of Ancestry since it comes in tapped. And we'll pass like that. Farseek for opponent. Brings back to our turn. There's a Karlach. Karlach is cool, but is another late game type card. So not doing so good at catching our early game stuff here. We will play the Swiftfoot Boots. And pass like that. So D-Manny gets himself a Professional Facebreaker, cool card, one that I haven't gotten to play nearly as much as I would have liked. Ponycorn did play a Vision Skeins, saying each player draws 2 cards, which is super helpful for where we are. And then we see you find some prisoners, exiling the top 3 cards of target opponent's library. Choose one until the end of your next turn. You may cast it and spend mana as though it were any color. That's a card, I've been starting to try to get that into decks a little bit more, and could probably actually go into this deck. That is a very useful utility card. And they get Kolagon's Command. Ooh. Yeah, that's a card. There's a Forging the Tyrite Sword. Okay, things are starting to shape up a little bit better now. That Vision Skeins helping us out quite a bit. Yeah, let's play the Mountain, play Forging the Tyrite Sword, get that thing ticking up so we can search for an equipment. A lot of people have asked me about this card and how good it is. I've tested it a little bit. It's okay. Right? Like, we're playing a budget deck. If I'm playing no budget at all, I'm probably not going to run this thing, unless I'm, like, specifically trying to dig out Halvar. With a medium budget, it depends, right? Like, the question, do you have a Stoneforge Mystic? Do you have a Steel Shaper's Gift? If not, then maybe you want to think about it. Like I said, it's okay. It never overperforms. It just kind of performs, right? Like, it takes time to be effective, which means that it's much better early in the game than it is later in the game, so that's always a thing. But generally, it's been decent, but not insane when I've played it. That's a Zerzoth Chaos Rider coming in. Ugh. That's a weird card. And the Facebreaker gets pumped up. Yep, that's a thing. They're gonna make a treasure. Yep. Emberwild Captain coming in. Getting the Monarch would be cool. We could theoretically haste an Arden, except Arden would die to that, probably. Untap land, we could get our commander. Our commander still dies to that, so probably not happening this turn, but I suppose we can try and wrestle it away from someone else. Kind of play the long game on it. Brings it back to our turn, we make another treasure. There's an equipment, finally, Maul of the Skyclaves. At least one that, like, does nice things for us. Swiftfoot Boots is great protection, but for where we are right now, we kind of just need, like, more. So, I think let's just cast our commander. We will get a Scry, which is helpful. Field of Ruin. Yeah, we'll put that to the bottom. Give ourselves an extra chance to get more equipment. Ooh, yeah, that's Sword of Hearth and Home. So Sword of Hearth and Home is probably the most important card in this deck, based on this current build, because this is going to ramp you. This is also going to allow you to blink your commander and keep getting more equipment into your hand. It's going to be a huge card value engine. And we also have a lot of ETB creatures in the deck. We don't see any in hand, which is kind of awkward. So Hearth and Home is probably going to be your first tutor target almost every time with this deck. What I'm going to do is, instead of equipping the boots and burning the treasure, I'm going to sit on Ephemerate and use that as a protection spell if someone tries to shoot Astor for some reason. I doubt we'll have the mana to do this all in one shot, but we could go Hearth and Home, Duelist Heritage, get the double strike land, and that is a really good place to be. You start double striking lands with this thing, you get a lot of value. That is the new Soul Kanar the Tainted coming in. Do love me some Soul Kanar the Swamp King. Let's take a look at this thing. It's 5 mana 5/5. At the beginning of your end step, choose one that hasn't been chosen. Draw a card. Each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. It deals 3 damage to up to one other target creature or planeswalker, or exile it and then return it to the battlefield under an opponent's control. So the first thing they're going to do is shoot this Halana and Alena, so they go down. Choose one that hasn't been chosen. Okay. So eventually someone else gains control of it if you don't do anything about it. But there's some cool utility in there. That does some stuff. Facebreaker coming our way. Can't do much about it because of the menace. No blocks. Maul of the Skyclaves is one that I need to use a little bit more than I do. I kind of just forget about it. You know, came out around that time that with so many sets being printed, it's just hard to stay on top of everything. For a ground-based Voltron deck, this thing is really good. This deck, Brunor, Akiri, any of those type commanders, really, really good. Probably Sir Gwyn. I haven't played Sir Gwyn in a while, but I imagine it's good in there. Man, looking back on it now, especially with all these like 4 mana equipment commanders coming in, like Sir Gwyn should have been 5 mana. Maybe like lower the power and toughness a little bit, but 6 mana is way too much for that card. 6 mana with haste and like maybe 1 more point of power, I might be able to get behind and say that like that's kind of balanced at 6 mana, but maybe even just 6 mana haste. But Sir Gwyn I've always found just to be a little bit tough. It's never quite what you want it to be. Brunor does a lot of the same stuff, just much more efficiently. And I like that Brunor's size scales with the equipment. So, you know, with Brunor, you really only need like 2 or 3 equipment to be lethal on a player a lot of the time. Sir Gwyn, a lot of times, if you don't have one of the big like Blackblade Reforged type things, like just putting a Hearth and Home on Sir Gwyn, like, isn't that much damage, right? Like, they have a lot of time to react to that before the commander lethal is actually a problem. That being said, I have not tried Sir Gwyn with a Brunor in it yet. I'm sure they work lovely together. Admiral Beckett Brass for opponent. Opponent is still the Monarch. Yeah, surprised the Facebreaker didn't go over there. They'd get an extra draw. D-Manny's got a bunch of open mana, which I do not love. Brings back to our turn, we draw a Hedron Archive, and Forging the Tyrite Sword ticks up to level 3. The question is, what are we getting? It's still a little too early for Argentum Armor. Sunforger is not a bad idea. The question I really have is Sword of Hearth and Home going to survive? D-Manny's got a lot of open mana, which almost makes me think he's sitting on a removal spell, so I might actually slow roll the Hearth and Home. I think what I'm going to do right here, I think the safest thing to do is go Mask of Memory. Because, I don't know, it's unlikely that they would use removal on the Mask of Memory. And I'd also like to get to our land drop, which we haven't done. And so the big thing, too, with this deck is that, like, yeah, there's a bunch of really cool late-game equipment that we can go find. Our commander will help us with that, at least a little bit, with the ETB. So I'm not so worried about using the tutor to get our value equipment. The value equipment are really important to the operation of this deck. Like, if we go for Sunforger right here and we never draw any more lands, like, it's gonna be a real problem. Play Mask of Memory. Equip the Mask of Memory. Burn the treasure. I mean, I doubt they block. This is a lot of value for us, though. Ooh, we get hit with the Emberwild Captain. Is not amazing. Is that a pirate? It is a pirate. A Djinn pirate. Yeah, that's some pretty good value. There's the Mask of Memory trigger, and there's the Monarch trigger. Would love to see a land right here. There's some lands. 2 lands, as a matter of fact. What are we getting rid of? We do have a few ways to get artifacts back, which means maybe we're discarding an artifact. How effective will that single combat be? I'm not sure. I feel better with it than without it. That's a thing. Nah, maybe we just discard the land then. I was thinking about, like, all right, let's set up 2 land drops, but we'll get less greedy. I don't really want to give up any of these cards. So we'll play the Lorehold Campus. It'll come in tapped. We get the Monarch at the end step. We're back up to 8 cards. There's that next land. That one we're going to hang on to. That one is an untapped land. Oh, do we give up on Ephemerate? Man, I really want to play this Maul of the Skyclaves, but I think it's Maul of the Skyclaves going to the graveyard. I would say that its effects are the most replaceable in the deck. Final Parting is a magic card. Search your library for 2 cards, 1 into your hand, 1 into the graveyard, then shuffle. Looks like, I don't know, some kind of reanimator thing. You see a Torrent of Souls right there. That's usually a reanimator card. And it's like, not the first one you run either, so, you know. That's reanimator card, I don't know, number 5 or lower than that, probably. I guess I don't play Grixis all that much. Villas into the graveyard. Reanimate a Villas? Reanimate a Villas. Well, that's all a thing. Here's a Court of Calling X2. Oh, is this going to be Scavenging Ooze? Show me the Scavenging Ooze. It is! Nice! Scavenging Ooze, exile a Villas. Yeah, so if we tried to get too greedy right there, like I think going for the Hearth and Home, they probably Court of Calling into Rexage or something like that. And that's why I went with the Mask of Memory. I was kind of playing around the fact that, like, I thought he had something. Now, if he doesn't have something, then you kind of slow roll yourself and put yourself behind. So, you know, it's sort of the gamble. Trying to be able to read what your opponents are doing. We are going to get hit for 2 right here. Doesn't seem too bad. I forget what this thing does. When an opponent draws their first card each turn, if it's not their turn, make a devil. Okay. You know, the one thing with that Villas, if the Villas came in, it 1, eats removal, or 2, makes that player the focus at the table. Because it has to be. With it getting exiled, that keeps everything, like, relatively on even footing at this moment. No one's really running away with the game at this point in time. D-Mania returns a Lifecrafter's Bestiary, sacrificing a token. Seems good. Scavenging Ooze coming our way. Yeah, we're getting chipped to death. There's a few ways to gain life in the deck, not tons and tons. Halana and Alena back to play. Man, he's just making treasures like there's no tomorrow. We do lose the Monarch. That's fine. Oh, I just remembered. Oh, Nanbo. Duelist Heritage does not work with Sword of Hearth and Home. Just remembered that. At least I remembered it now and not while we were trying to do it. Perhaps a reason... Yeah, that might actually be a reason to go for Fire Shrieker instead. Because Fire Shrieker you can find with your commander, and you won't have the pro-white problem with Hearth and Home. I do like Duelist Heritage a lot, though. It's sort of unfortunate that Hearth and Home is as good as it is, because I do really like Duelist Heritage in these type decks, and it is just very awkward with Hearth and Home. And Hearth and Home is probably one that you're going to search for pretty early with most of these Voltron decks. 2 attacks into D-Manny, yep. I'm starting to think about that single combat a little bit. I'm going to see if we can, like, hold out one more turn and catch a little more value into it, just because... Oh, there's a Blasphemous Act. I guess a bunch of things get blown up. I tried to... Not that it would have meant... Oh, we didn't have any mana anyway. Yeah. Back to the command zone. I mean, the thing that's fine is that, like, we just get more value with our commander now. And I'm really glad we got the Hedron Archive down. It's going to help our mana quite a bit. Opponent's going to do 1 damage to the face. I don't think I've actually read our commander yet. So, Astor, Bearer of Blades, 4 mana, 4/4. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 7 of your library. You may reveal an equipment or vehicle from among them and put it in your hand. Rest on the bottom. Equipment you control have Equip 1, and vehicles you control have Crew 1. I've already played the vehicles version of the deck, so if that's something you're interested in, be sure to check out that video. Today we're playing the equipment build of the deck. I decided that I didn't want to mix. You could probably do like a little bit of mixing and matching, but that's just not where I wanted to go with it. So today we're playing straight equipment, and it's pretty cool ability. You get to play the big, expensive equip cost equipment, like Argentum Armor, Cauldra Complete, and Heartseeker are probably some of your best ones. Also, Colossus Hammer is also very good. Those are kind of the big cards for this deck, and there's a few other ones that are good as well. But even, like, reducing these by 1 is also very, very helpful, so... Anyway, cool little commander, and I'm curious to see how we kind of do after a little bit of removal here, and how we sustain into the late game. Because this is a budget build, I don't think this build is going to be particularly fast. The things that would make this deck faster are all kind of expensive. So, you know, like a Jeska's Will to get the mana, fast mana of any sorts, mana crypts. Enlightened Tutor is always really good. Feast and Famine is a crazy card and is very expensive. Stoneforge Mystic is very good. Those are the type of things that are really going to speed you up and make you a lot more consistent. Without that budget, you're probably looking at about a turn 8 to 9 deck with this current build. So, you know, if you're in a stronger setting, this probably isn't the best thing to go for if you're on a budget. That being said, even if you are in a stronger meta, I'd probably go Brunor over this instead. The question is sort of, do you want the card advantage or do you want the true free equip with the scaling size? There's a lot of things to like about Brunor, so That's my personal opinion. Anyway, let's play this land. Let's get our commander back, because that makes sense. Oh, make sure we use the Path of Ancestry to scry. Okay. Because there is a Revel in Riches right there, I very much want to get rid of that Revel in Riches. What do we need? 2 of each? 2 or more plains, 2 or more mountains. Unfortunately, we only have 1 mountain, so we're not going to be able to blow up the artifact, but I do think getting rid of that Revel in Riches is probably a good idea. We might be tempting fate a little bit by leaving it out there. So with that being the case, let's cast Durgar. Dwarf Shaman, nope, does not overlap. Destroy the Revel in Riches. Then I think we go Arden. Then free equip the things. Let's read this because I always mess this up. You may attach any number of auras and equipment you control to target permanent. So we want to choose the permanent in which we want to attach things. That'll be the Swiftfoot Boots and the Mask of Memory. So those are both on there now. We'll swing over to Sean, even though he's got a lot of open mana. We're just trying to wrestle that Monarch token away. And with the current board, we might actually be able to hold on to it for a few turns. Mask of Memory, and we take the Monarch. Use the ability. There's Colossus Hammer. I think we're going to want that one. Generous Gift is very helpful. With the board wipe going off, I think we get rid of the single combat. Opponents are already in rebuild mode. So I guess we play the Colossus Hammer right here and then sit on Ephemerate. I guess the other thing we could do is we could move the Swiftfoot Boots. I think that's fine. I think we just sit on Ephemerate. Did we not find a land in there? I don't think we found a land. There's the Monarch trigger. There's the land. Got it ready for next turn. There were a couple cards that weren't available on Magic Online yet. The new Denitha looks really good. That's a Howling Mine. Love it. Opponent playing like a little bit group huggy with the Soul Kanar. Where'd their commander go? Oh, it's in the graveyard. Jace's Archivist. Oh god, empty our hand. We need to empty our hand. Get it all out. I guess we could shoot it with the Generous Gift if we wanted to prevent discarding all of our stuff. D-Manny still has 7 cards in hand. Seems good. Hasn't even drawn per turn yet. Cultivate. Gotta love the old turn 7 Cultivate. Still a decent play, honestly, especially after a board wipe just went off. You know, it is cool that this thing has the ETB mechanic on it, just because, like, there are a lot of free equipment. There are a lot of cards you can run that make your equip cost free. And I was just thinking about the fact, like, with Arden in play, you kind of lose the effectiveness of equipment you control have equip 1, so it's nice that you still get something out of your commander, which is go find more equipment. There's a Spike Weaver. It's not usually... Oh, right, it's a +1/+1 counter deck. Don't be the Fog one. It is indeed the Fog one. Ugh. Gonna make it tougher to get that Hearthenholm off. Possibly a Generous Gift target right there. Howling Mine. Did Karmic Guide stay in the deck? It did. Okay. So we do have a way to reanimate that Karlach, but, you know, 1 in 76 chance to draw it. Well, I guess probably like a 7 in 76 chance when that thing goes off. Oh, Dockside Extortionist. Never great. Never great against the equipment deck. 1, 2, 3, 4 on our side, I see. Yeah, this is going to be a lot. Sean is going to have all the mana. Continuing on our opponents, by the way, in the middle is D-Manny piloting Halana and Alena Partners. One we've seen him play a bunch of times on the channel. It makes stuff huge, and then it hits you. And then it's a problem. It is a little soft to removal. That is the one knock against the deck, but overall has some cool synergies, does a lot of powerful things. Generally, their creatures will just be bigger than yours at most points in the game. So, Coercive Recruiter. Oh god, what's this one? Steal stuff? Run the steal stuff plan? What are we stealing? Spike Weaver. Love it. Funny story. He could empty all the counters on the Spike. He'd have to pay the... I mean, he has mana. He could empty all the counters on the Spike Weaver. Is this ETB? D-Manny's just going to do that for him, I think. Rashadin Footpad. Yep. Enters battlefield. Each opponent sacrifices a permanent unless they pay 2. So we will be sacrificing a permanent. Will it be the Hedge Mage? Oh god, and they're targeting our Arden? Nah, that's probably fine. We get it back, right? He hasn't shown Sack Outlet yet, so... Till end of turn, against haste, becomes a pirate. Yeah, we should get our Arden back. Could protect it with Ephemerate, but not that worried about it. Don't have the 2. I think it's going to be the Hedge Mage right here. Again, we have ways to get creatures back, namely 1 in Karmic Guide. I guess also Sun Titan's in the deck, so that's 2. I'd say that it's probably the least necessary to our plans. Okay, he's going to empty out the Spike Weaver, I think, and put a counter on the Coercive Recruiter. There's a... Oh, Thaumatic Compass. That might be the generous gift target. Or the, opponent sacrifices the Jace. Opponent sacrificed their Jace's Archivist. So, that's probably a good thing, because I was going to make some weird plays in order to not discard everything in our hand. There's a Feast and Famine. Oh, God. Do they have a legal attack? They do. Our Arden. Well, should have blinked the Arden. Preventable. Very preventable. The good news is that he has coughed out most of his cards. But he will probably get an untap with the lands right here. Yep, gets rid of the Spike Weaver and pumps up the footpad. See if he clicks this thing correctly, because I mess it up all the time. He chooses the non-hasted creature, which is interesting, and then does not attach. Weird. Yeah, I probably didn't click it right then. But he wouldn't be able to attack this turn anyway. Moves it to the... Pays to put it on the Recruiter. Yep. Sean's got a little board state going. Is going to flip the Thaumatic Compass. Yep. That's got to be the generous gift target. I've seen him do so much work with Thaumatic Compass, especially we're playing Voltron, right? Like, it's just... I mean, I guess we can wait, like... We can probably wait at least until his turn to do it, just because this is an instant, but that's probably where this generous gift is going. We do have the Swiftfoot Boots, which does counteract it, but, you know, people shoot Swiftfoot Boots when they have Spires up, so, you know. There's Luxodon Warhammer. That's actually a decent pickup. We do get our Arden back, which I like. Play the Rogue's Passage. I would very much like to get the Hearthenholm this turn. We have 9 mana, which is exactly enough to go Hammer, Hearthenholm, sit on Generous Gift. Or Kazul's Fury, if needed. Go to combat, reread this thing to target permanent. Okay, so choosing itself, and then choose all of our equipment. Arden is now giant. We can put a hurting on Sean. He did things. This will also be a lot of good life gain. Big attack into Sean. He's going to draw a card with the Fiery Islet. Islet. Hearthenholm, Mask of Memory. There's some value. I'm not going to blink anything. Draw 2 cards with Mask of Memory. There's some lands. We'll ditch the Temple just because it comes in tapped. Although sometimes that Scry is nice. Lots of basics in this deck. Courtesy of a budget mana base. Get a second Mountain just in case our Hedge Mage comes back for any random reason. We've got 4 mana up. Yeah, I think we're good like that. We'll pass. What's funny is Sean's down to 15, so if... Oh, that's a dispatch. Nice. If he was going to do something that was like potentially scary or game-ending to us, we could just bolt him in the face with Kazul's Fury. Which is why I put this in here. It's sort of like either you've killed both of the other players and there's just one left, or like something bad's already happening and you're like, all right, well, let's get a ton of damage into that person's face on the way out the door. So if you've ever been flinged to death, it's the dual-faced version of a fling. Actually, based on current life totals, we are not that far away from killing the table. We could find like a little more damage on the Arden. Yeah, I really need to switch this over to a Fire Shrieker. It'll be just a lot better in the deck. Much more synergy. Boneyard Parlay. Yeah, there's the Hedge Mage we talked about. It is going to find its way back to play. Spike Weaver. Yep. Okay. Exile up to 5 cards from opponent's graveyards, and opponent separates them into 2 piles. Okay, so they get to separate into piles, and then they get to choose. Pile of your choice. Who's got the choosing here? Looks like D-Manny's doing the choosing. Hedge Mage and Spike Weaver in one, the other 3 in the other. See what they go for. Do they have 2 mountains? They do. Oh, don't go 5-0. Don't give them 5-0. They're making deals. What's going on in chat? Okay. Archivist, Spike Weaver. Okay. What's the captain down there? He's really thinking long and hard about this. Okay. These are the piles that he's gone with and waiting for opponent to choose. Goes for the Archivist, Spike Weaver, and Emberwild Captain. So that's the value and protection line right there. They become the Monarch. Traverse the Uvenwald with Delirium. Bane of Progress would not be ideal. D-Manny taking his time, trying to figure out what he's getting. Titan of Industry. Enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact or enchantment, gain 5 life, make a Rhino, put a shield counter on a creature you control. You get to choose 2. Yeah, here it comes. I assume we lose something in here. Also, we go up to 41 after that last attack because of the lifelink. Luxodon Warhammer has really overperformed. Considering it was a card that I was cutting from decks for a while, I've been really impressed with what it does now. And, I think the thing is that, like, you just don't see as many Eldrazi running around, right? Your 6/3 trample just doesn't look good against an Eldrazi, right? He's going to kill the Luxodon Warhammer. I mean, there's not a lot we can do about that, but also realizing the power of Luxodon Warhammer. I really thought he'd go for the Hearthenholm or the Colossus Hammer, personally. But thinking along the same lines as my little spiel a second ago, also makes a 4/4. Yeah, blockers are a thing that you want right now. We are back on the we need to try to empty everything out of our hand game plan again, though. Marauding Looter. At the beginning of your end step, if you attack this turn, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. That's fine. That is a pirate. I wonder if we're going to get attacked real hard here. I think we are. Yep, 7/7 our way. Oh yeah, he's sending everything he can our way. Okay, how do we want to play this? Probably still, I mean, do we just take it? This is going to be a bit, what is that, about 18 or so? Cut us back in half. Oh, we're one short of just using Kazul's Fury to take him down. The 7/7 is a lot of damage. Also, this, you know what, the Coercive Recruiter is honestly probably the worst thing going here. Let's dispatch that. That also stops the Feast and Famine. I was thinking about trying to save that for the Spike Weaver. Spike Weaver is an issue. So that'll cut down the damage to something I feel like a little bit more comfortable with. That's 11. Down to 30. He can draw and discard. Generous Gift, the Spike Weaver. It's just too much political power right there. That goes down. Brings it back to our turn. There's a Signet. There's a Sunhome. Play the Sunhome. Play the Signet. Ooh, that's double strike, isn't it? That is double strike. Green and white. We can't get into Sean currently. Let's get the Signet out of our hand. D-Manny is very soft to the Karlach. Let's get Karlach. Opponent's got a block. So then I think we Rogue's Passage. Funny story, can't choose itself because of the pro-white. Swing into Ponycorn. It's got the most life. Karlach and Emberwild Captain will trigger. We lose 4. We hit. We take the Monarch. Hearthenholm. I don't think blinking this will do anything, but we'll try just in case, right? Land Deafening Clarion. Oh, I'd love to be able to cast that Deafening Clarion. That would kill most of the board. Discard a Plains. Hearthenholm. Get a Plains. Back to combat. Oh, if we... No, that one doesn't have unblockable. Funny enough, we can't actually kill anyone, but we can make everyone really mad at us. So I guess that's what we're doing. Swing into Ponycorn. Actually, yeah, swing into Ponycorn. Although, the thing we gotta watch out for is, like, everyone's gonna draw a lot of cards with the Archivist, and they're all gonna get a crack at us before we can do anything about it. Hearthenholm. Draw with the Mask of Memory. More lands. Discard a mountain. Get a Plains. Very sadly, one short of casting more stuff. Maybe we should have skipped the Signet, honestly. Draw at the end step. Another land. Well, at least we're working our way through the lands. Opponents are going to have a shot here. We could die. I probably could have played that a little bit more conservatively. That's a Demonic Tutor. Let's see what they go for. Rise of the Dark Realms would be probably halfway decent. At least if they tap out for something big, they might not Jace's Archivist. See what they get. Board wipe doesn't really do it because we have haste. Unless it also gets artifacts. Rare in Grixis. Cyclonic Rift is a card, though. Last one standing. See who gets a creature. Oh, the Archivist survived. I mean, I guess that's better than the 7/7, probably. Yeah, this is okay. Actually, if they wheel right here, that's fine with us. Do they wheel? They foretold a card. Looks like they're going to hold off on the Archivist. Defiler of Vigor. Haven't seen this one yet. 5 mana, 6/6, trample. As an additional cost to cast green permanent spells, you may pay 2 life. Oh, God. Whenever you cast a green permanent spell, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. That seems insanely good. And a Garruk Primal Hunter. At least he doesn't have tons and tons of mana left, but he can probably still get some done with the Phyrexian mana right there. And he can draw a bunch more cards if he wants. Although risky, yeah, well, risky with the Archivist out there, so he's going to make a Beast token. Sadly, Arden's gone unless we find our Karmic Guide. So we will have to pay some amount to equip all of our stuff. A fighter class would probably be helpful. Well, maybe not. Wouldn't be terrible. Fervent Champion would be solid. Gyruda. Uh-oh. Don't hit our Karmic Guide. Fighter class, land, Sajiri Shelter. Not too bad. Really hit a pocket of lands right here in the middle. Is that a whiff? I think it was. Yeah, it looks like all odd creatures. Another land. And Argentum Armor. Oh, boy. Really don't want to lose the Argentum Armor. We do need a creature, so I think we cast our commander. We scry one. Heartseeker is also a magic card. Yeah, we'll put that into our... put it on top. We have 8 mana left, which means Argentum Armor and Equip plus 1 other equipment. Choose the Heartseeker. Hopefully we don't just discard it. Oh, we can get one more because we haven't played a land yet. Play a land. I think I'm going to go for the Argentum Armor. Equip the Swiftfoot Boots. Equip the Argentum Armor. Yeah, we can put the Hurting on D-Manny if we equip the Hearth and Home. Swing into D-Manny. What do we Argentum Armor? I'm thinking the 7/7, or I'm thinking this thing. Yeah, that thing seems very scary. Could be... we could go for a lot of other targets, but I'm not looking... I mean, he's got a full grip, and Jace's Archivist is in play, so, like, he could just burn life to cast stuff. Although, I guess he's losing a bit here, but I don't know. There's a lot of things we could shoot. Beast and Famine, Spires are good choices also. Yeah, there's the Archivist. Shooting the Archivist isn't terrible either. We have 8 cards in hand. Everyone's going to get a fresh 8. Not thrilled about this. Oh, what do we get? Blade of Selves is funny. More equipment, which is good. Can't do much with it this turn. Hearth and Home. I don't think we need to blink our commander. We have most of our good equipment now. It would untap it. It would untap it, wouldn't it? That would give us a blocker, but with only 1 mana, we'd be a bit exposed. If all this stuff survives till next turn, though, we get the Skyclave Apparition, and we can blink that, and that'll be super helpful removal. Get a Plains. Yeah, since we don't really have any tricks or anything, we just equip the Hammer. And I think we pass like that. We are going to have to discard. Although, opponent could Archivist, and the opponent could Archivist again. We're going to have to discard 2, actually. Yep, there's an Akiri. Would rather not discard that. Discard the War Room, I think. Probably don't need Sword of the Animist. Doing okay on lands, and, like, everyone just drew a lot of cards, so it's tough to say what'll happen, but, like, I don't think the game's going to go that much longer based on where things are. Faithless Looting. Oh, that's a Vandal Blast. That's going to hurt. That is how you stop the equipment deck. We'll get rid of the Feast and Famine, which is something. Oh, yeah, that's bad. Yeah, I mean, the name of this deck is Pray for No Vandal Blast. We'll see how well we recover. If we don't get wheeled again, we have... Nope, here it comes. So we're going to lose more stuff. Hopefully we find some of our recursion. We're getting down there on cards. Is opponent trying to mill us all to death? Is that what they're trying to do? Opponent's going to drop in a Dire Fleet Poisoner. Enters the battlefield. Target attacking pirate gets +1/+1 till end of turn. Just getting it out of their hand. Most of our... that's not the hand you want. Sun Titan's okay. Sun Titan can get a few things. Open the Armory. I don't know what's left. Argentum's gone. Cauldron Complete is gone. Heartseeker's gone. I don't think we've actually seen Sunforger yet. Sunforger, Sword of Vengeance, probably be targets. Blackblade Reforged, maybe. Persist, yep, return a creature. Getting the Runescarred Demon. I think that means we need to try to get them out of the game, is what I think that means. I think we could do is like Sun Titan Boots, equip the Boots to Sun Titan, attack, get something else. We're down to 36 cards in our library. I don't know why we got hit so much worse than our opponents. Is it because we were just drawing like crazy? Maybe. We've had a bunch of Monarch triggers, bunch of Mask of Memory triggers. Maul of the Skyclaves attaches itself, which is important with the Sun Titan. Howling Mine. So I think we would go Boots, Maul of the Skyclaves, Rhythm of the Wild. That's how big turns start. Halana and Alena. It's not too bad for a lot of mana. Slash the Ranks, not looking... Oh, yeah. Slash the Ranks Sun Titan, maybe? I think that might be the play. Could probably kill 2 players with that. We are 1 or 2 short. Yeah, we're a few short of Sun Titan, Slash the Ranks, Response Resurgence. Although opponent's only got 1 blocker over there, so maybe Response Resurgence anyway, and just try to force our way through. Also, Response Resurgence helps against these Spires, since it's only for that combat. Opponent's going to hit us with the Beast and take the Monarch token. Yep, they draw. Sunbird's Invocation, that's a crazy card. Yep, attacking our way. Down to 15, yeah. We need to take care of business right here. Not going to have too much time left. Opponents are basically tapped out. Ooh, target opponent discards 2 cards, okay. We can discard stuff, that's fine. Tries to get a spell with Sunbird's whiffs, though. Get rid of the Loyal Warhound and the land. Soul Ring is helpful. Fervent Champion, also helpful. Huh. Play the Command Tower. Play the Soul Ring. Play Sun Titan. We don't have haste for the Blade of Selves. Get the Swiftfoot Boots. Almost cut the Swiftfoot Boots at the last second, too. Glad I didn't. Use the ability. Equip the Swiftfoot Boots. Uh-oh, Sean's got something. Heartless Act. Destroy target creature with no counters on it. That's not helpful. Slash the ranks, maybe? That goes down. Yeah, I think slash the ranks. D-Manny can kill us. Huh. It's a problem. Probably. I mean, if he has any creatures at all. It's gonna be a lot of damage. Just double check our deck. Yeah, we don't have the mana to make more plays. It's unfortunate. Which I think means Fervent Champion. Send Astor into Ponycorn. That's a Rapid Hybridize. Yep. That is unfortunate. Gives us another blocker, I guess. Back to the command zone. Yeah, getting eaten alive with removal. Equip the boots to our knight. Play the Open the Armory, I guess. Yeah, maybe we should just went for Sunforger earlier. I don't know. Get a Sunforger, pass like that. Maybe we should have went Austere Command on creatures. Yeah, we probably should have went creatures and enchantments. Haunting Voyage. That was the Foretold card. Opponent returns many things to the battlefield. Oh god, well, Pestilence Demon will kill them before. Although, they can kill our knight. I mean, it is considerable damage to them, though, to do it. Opponents can't gain life. Double the life loss. Ooh, double the life loss with Soul Kanar. We might not be the threat anymore, which might be good. Though, might threat memory. Because we've been the threat all game, they might not leave us alone. Pongify on the Archfiend of Depravity. Not sure why they did that. This is going to be the double... Yeah, each opponent loses 2 life, gains 2 life. There'll be some double life loss in there. D-Manny down to 5, Sean down to 11. Life totals are low. Oh, that Deafening Clarion looks amazing with the lifelink. Clean out a bunch of stuff. Well, I guess not that many things die to it, but it... Uh-oh. Eternal Witness? What are we getting? Spike Weaver doesn't do it. Going for a Blasphemous Act. Could be worse. We have boots, so that means we have haste, yeah. So we rebuild better than our opponents do right here. And given the life totals, Inspiring Call. Draw some cards first. Oh, and Indestructible. Okay. There's a Blasphemous Act. Our stuff goes down. He can kill Ponycorn if he wants, or he can really put a hurting on us. Fertilid. Oh, he's got a lot of damage now. Eternal Witness into Ponycorn. 1 into Sean. Leaves the commander back. Yeah, probably thinking that they're going to need some blocking. Ponycorn goes down. Finally a player eliminated. Turn 11. Got a lot of removal late in the game here. Really kind of slowed things down. I will say that, like, the way this deck is built currently, you will want a little bit slower game. If someone's just like green X, make all the mana on turn 3, that's not a great spot for this deck. And you could tweak it a little bit more, Deafening Clarion type stuff, Volcanic Offering, early removal. Will give you a little bit better game against that stuff, but still, on such a budget, you don't have things like Neheb or Feast and Famine or Smothering Tithe that all allow you to make a ton of extra mana. Those are kind of the key pieces to really keep up with decks like that. Direfleet Ravager. Each player loses a third of their life rounded up. Yikes. Into the Sunbirds. Aggravated Assault is not ideal. He doesn't have haste yet. Austere Command on creatures and enchantments, maybe? Because that cleans out all those problems, and then we should just be able to kill D-Manny with our commander and then take our chances with Sean. If we have enough mana, we might be able to do all of them. I doubt it, but... Oh, there's the haste. He does have a Flamekin Village. Now it has haste. Does he kill D-Manny, or does he hurt us? Appears to have 4 mana, not enough to activate the Aggravated Assault. Hopefully he doesn't have more tricks. Goes after D-Manny. Okay. That solves a problem. I think we still start with the Austere Command to clean out his enchantments, because if he has removal and we try to cast our commander and do all that, we could be blown out by removal, where if we start with the Austere Command, even if he has removal, we probably still get like another crack at it. Although he does have the Flamekin Village. And on this low of life, almost anything is pretty deadly. D-Manny goes down. Tapping mana is okay. What's this thing do? Gain control of target whenever attacks. Okay. Casting a creature, trying to get another thing. Oh, we tapped the Spires. Why did he tap the Spires? Ragavan. 2 blockers. Yeah, so just start with Austere Command. Maybe he's thinking boots, right? Because we just put the boots on and the Spires. Doesn't do much against that. Okay. Brings back to our turn. We have a pretty good opportunity here. He's tapped out, and I think we've got the tools we need. That's a Rayev. I might just go with Rayev. We'll see. Nope, that's not the card we want. Cast Austere Command. Oh, he's going to have 1 small blocker left. Ew. Big creature, big creature. So we either do that, or we go all enchantments and we just have to, or we go all creatures and we just have to make sure it hits. I don't see anything to think that it's not gonna get through, so destroy all creatures. Cast our commander. Hopefully this doesn't eat up all of our mana. That is gonna eat up most of our mana, I think. Ooh. At 8 mana, I think it makes more sense to go Rayav Sunforger. So that's, what is that? That's 6, that's 8. And then we just, yeah, I think that makes a lot more sense. Rayav, Sunforger, Boots, equip Sunforger. And this needs to work because we do not have any follow-up. Send it in. Double strike. Oh, I guess we didn't need to cast Sunforger. Even still, 8 for our commander is a lot. There it is. Oh, he was on 5 lands. Ouch. Ouch. We have Flame Tongue Kabu coming. I wish we saw this one earlier. This would have helped with some stuff. Would have got rid of that Jace's Archivist that was kind of an issue for us. Yeah, that was a game. Definitely a slugfest, a lot of removal. Took a while for anyone to develop a board that could like really punch out some damage. We were the big threat for quite a while in the game actually, which is, you know, what the deck is supposed to be doing. But the one thing I did notice is that, you know, it's not the quickest at actually closing it out. Those expensive excess mana cards help a lot. The better extra combats like Aggravated Assault, Waves of Aggression, Aurelia, the really like combo-y ones, also help you close it out a lot sooner. But overall, it wasn't bad. I will say that, yeah, this deck is not going to be blazing quick. You're definitely going to need to sustain a little bit, and it is very possible for green decks to go over the top of you. So, you know, you'll want to develop your Sunforger package based on what you're kind of running into. Be able to protect yourself, have, like, Settle the Wreckage, Comeuppance. Comeuppance is like $12 now, apparently. Honestly, you know what? If we could have caught a Chroma's Will at some point in the game, I think, you know, someone dies a lot sooner, we gain more life, all that good stuff. So, but anyway, yeah, I thought it did decent. I don't think it's necessarily the best and fastest, especially in the budget realm. But it's still cool, right? You get to play around with Argentum Armor, and we got an attack with that, which was fun. You can mess around with Heartseeker, Cauldron Complete, stuff like that. So those are kind of the big draws for the deck. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel, vote on which decks I play next, or if you want to get some good games on Spell Table, be sure to check out my Patreon at the link below.